I'm disappointed in every one of you.
I'm sorry, I don't mean to offend you.
I'm disappointed in every one of you.
I kiss you on the mouth.
No, I'm not cool with that. I'm sorry.
One more time.
I'm disappointed in every one of you.
I mean, I'm dealing with degenerate animals.
I'm disappointed in every one of you. Disappointed in every one of you.
All right, come on.
Honestly, I can't do it, man.
I'm disappointed in every one of you.
Let me tell you why.
It's gonna be all right, Nicky. Go ahead, shoot.
You just killed a fucking man.
What are you going to do about it?
Yeah, because you got nothing. You don't got a thing. Yeah, because you got nothing. Lomito! You got nothing.
I want to get out of this rat hole. I want to get online. I need
BDA boxing.
Well, and welcome everybody to another BDA Boxing Podcast Open Lines Friday edition for everybody. Yes, sir, indeed. Open Lines Friday means everybody gets to jump on board the Discord and participate in the discussion. And what a discussion we have. It's a little bit of an offshoot of yesterday's podcast where we talk about actually, we noticed that there's a disturbing trend among some of the top fighters out there in boxing. Very delusional. Delusion courses to the veins of some of these boxers, and we're going to talk about it. I want to hear from you fellas. Of course, we also have to talk about tomorrow's trifecta of events. We got Keith Thurman versus Barrios, we got Cuadras versus Bam Rodriguez, and we got Chris Eubank Jr. versus Liam Williams. All interesting, sensational fights. Of course, the most important thing also is how many of you guys are going to be buying, if at all, the Barrios versus Thurman fight, the card itself. And by the way, Thurman looked in fantastic shape, although perhaps a little gaunt. So we want to talk about all of that. Before we get down to the fun, fellas, you know the drill. Let's get the business out of the way. If you want to continue the gravy train rolling, you can certainly do so by donating a couple of shekels our way via the super chat feature. But it's more convenient for you, I would say, if you join the BD membership program. That way you get emojis, badges, and special film analysis in return. You get a little bit more bang for your buck. All right. But of course, the most important thing is you continue to like, subscribe, and to spread the BD gospel. Yeah, don't forget to check us out on Spotify, iTunes, and Spreaker as well. All right. That's really about it. Don't forget to hit the like, and subscribe if you haven't done so already. Shout out to everybody out there in the chat. I'm talking about JumpTube, Eddie Valenzuela, Jaguar. Shout out to Jaguar, Slum Science, Eddie Valenzuela, One Foot Out the Door, Toti Kidos, AJR, Iceman, and many more people to come, I'm sure, fellas. Thank you for joining us. Now, let me show you how this works, how to join us if you want to on the Discord. It's very easy. So just go on the BD Discord. The link, I believe, is in the description. And you don't have to verify with an email or something. Just add your email address or your username, password, boom, you're in. All right. And as you can see, we got here the Discord. See, I just expanded it there. So if you join that and you go here where I'm highlighting, see that thing lighting up there, voice channel, BDA Boxing, click on the speaker icon right there. See when I click on it or hover on it, it says voice. Click on that and boom, you're in the show. All right, I'm gonna be joining that room right about now. So make sure you join as well, fellas. And let me just warn you real quick. This is a show that the way things can get hectic very quickly. We let everybody in. There's no limit. So you might have a hard time talking. It's how it happens. We try to keep order as best as possible, but ultimately it's up to you to talk and try to get your piece in as well. We do want people to fight. We want people to insult each other. This ain't the usual BDA show. This is the Open Lines Friday edition, which means anything goes, for the most part. For the most part. Anyway, enough prevarication. There you see I'm in there. Oh, you got LT dropping by. LT, how are you, man?
Pretty good, bro. Pretty good. Tu sabes, like in the restroom, taking a nice dump.
Nice.
You know, for work, listening to great boxing talk. You guys always entertain me. And, bro, I'm not going to lie, bro. That membership program sounds pretty good. I mean, talking about more bang for my buck. So who can I bang once I become a member?
Well, I'm pretty sure someone's going to be willing to give up Las Nalgas if for the right price. So, I mean, you just got to, money talks, man. You just got to name your price. No, but I mean, listen, I wanted to start off with this, man, because there's a lot of delusion from today's boxers. Dylan White wants more money, and I don't really know if he's delusional or not for asking for much more money. But I mean, he's been waiting for a big fight, and he's asking for more money all of a sudden. Then you got Clarissa Shields saying, I don't know if you've heard this. She says she can beat up men. She routinely knocks them out in sparring, and that she shouldn't just be included in the women's pound for pound. She should be included in the men's pound for pound list as well. What do you think about Clarissa Shields and the delusion that she's exhibiting?
Bro, I think she is definitely some type of hallucinative drug, bro. Maybe shrooms, maybe some heroin, PCP, some of that shit, bro. Because she's hallucinating hard, bro. Like hard balls, bro. Not just that, bro. She doesn't think that, you know, she can beat, man. She also's trying to look like one too, bro. You seen, bro? Like she's looked more manly than ever. Like she's even going bald, bro. You know what I mean?
Whoa,
like,
yeah, you're right.
Like, you know, maybe that's the steroids. I don't know, bro. But she is going bald. Bro, if she couldn't, bro, beat men, like, come on, bro. She got her shit kicked out by can't remember who, bro. Mexican women, bro. Like on her debut and shit. On her MMA. What makes her think that she can beat men on the pound for pound list? Be on me, bro.
She doesn't have anybody in her life sending her straight. It's all a bunch of yes people because she makes, you know, some amount of money. And so I think she's the gravy train for a lot of these people, right? She's the golden goose, the balding goose, rather. And, you know, somebody should really get up over there and start telling her to calm down a little bit. Look, the Bible is quite clear on this. In Proverbs 31:26 says she opens her mouth with wisdom and the teaching of kindness is on her tongue. They certainly weren't talking about Clarissa Shields. Because this
no. She is all the opposite of what is on that verse of the Bible. Exactly.
I mean, she's just going after one person after the other every week. Do you guys, we got more people jumping in here. Thank you for joining us, guys. Who here would pick, let's say Lomachenko Gonzalez in a 6-rounder? Let's just 6-rounder against Clarissa Shields. Who would you guys pick?
He's out there on one.
Chocolatito, bro. Chocolatito in like 2, because Chocolatito always starts off slow, so you know what I mean. Plus, he's a dude that Chocolatito believes in God too, so it's gonna take time to warm up to hit a woman. But he's has before. just a quick search on Google in Spanish, you'll find out that he does hit women. So yes. I'll give like 2 rounds for Chocolatito to warm up and beat her nice and easy.
You think he uses her tits as a speedball?
Yes, definitely, bro. I do.
Yeah, those tired, ugly tits of hers. No, but you know what? You mentioned Chocolatito's he's beaten women before. What are you talking about?
Yeah. If you search on Google Spanish, he has some domestic violence history in Nicaragua, where he's from.
No kidding. Well, I mean, I guess
Yeah,
that's
so
just,
he's bit a couple of times his wife. So, you know what I mean?
Nice guy.
That's standard operating
Seems like a nice
procedure.
guy, of course.
Right, that's
Hey,
standard.
man, when a to be slapped, you know, I understand.
I mean, if it's a backhanded slap, it's not that bad. Now, I also wanted to. Well, it is. I mean, what do you want from me?
BDA,
Yes, sir.
are you talking about Sir Clarence Shields II?
She's starting to look like Chris Eubank Senior, with the receding hairline, and they all look. I'm going to compare them. They do look the same. You can't really tell. She's morphing into Chris Eubank Senior. Hold on, let me show some pictures here. But yeah, hey, by the way, guys, I'm curious here to get your opinion. When it comes to tomorrow's fight, everyone's talking about, well, Barrios versus Thurman. Is anyone here going to buy it?
No. I actually just bought like 3 weeks ago a new Fire Stick, and yes, I'm gonna be using it very nicely on my new HD TV.
Whoa!
72-inch, and I'm gonna stream that shit illegally, of course.
And the TV's stolen too, right?
Of course,
Yeah,
got it from a homeboy. $50.
Oh man, no, but hey, where does Keith? Because Keith Thurman's been. We're talking about delusional fighters. Keith Thurman, and I don't quite buy that he believes what he's saying, but he's been saying this past week that he's still the most exciting guy in the welterweight division. That the welterweight division needs him. I'm curious if he wins, which he should. What do you see happening to him? Do you think? Because I mean, they're talking about putting him in there with Crawford. I don't know why they would put him in there against Crawford.
No way.
Crawford. Well, what do you guys think about that? Like, what would be the plan?
He's fighting the winner of Spence and Ugas.
Put him with Crawford just to keep Crawford busy? For what? Not a legacy fight, not a money fight, not a competitive fight. Like, for what? Who the fuck is asking for that fight? I'm telling you, bro, these promoters are high as fuck, just like Claressa Shields, bro.
Yeah, I agree, man. I agree. Anybody else? Anybody else want to weigh in on this?
I think they're propping him up. I think they're propping him up to eventually sacrifice him, to someone, either Davis or whoever, they could possibly get. If they do try to sign Boots, to the PBC and get him away from Showtime, they're going to sacrifice him soon. And he knows, so he's all for it, and he's going to get that payday, and he's also going to get slain on the same day. So, it is what it is.
I gotcha, man. Yeah, that's an interesting theory right there, because I don't know how they're getting the money to put on these events, the PBC. That's why everything's in pay-per-view. But, somebody else, I just heard somebody mention that Keith Thurman, actually, if he wins, they're going to try to prop him up for the winner of Spence Ugas. So that means that the PBC is hoping and praying that Keith Thurman looks good, right? Because, I mean, ain't no way Barrios is going to do much at 147, I don't think. So, what does Thurman have to do? What's the objective for him tomorrow night?
Thurman?
This dude, and then fight the winner of Ugas.
I mean, the objective for Thurman is to get more money. Basically, that motherfucker just is a hungry motherfucker for money. He's been sitting on a bench for 2 years, and not because of choice, it's because he's been pricing himself out. He apparently thinks he's such a big, what is it called?
Such a big star.
Yes, a big star, a big, I don't know, cash cow or some shit that he's fucking not, bro. He probably thinks he has a 10-inch cock too, bro. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like one of those delusional shits like Claressa Shields, where she thinks she can beat all the men and shit.
I mean, he did go in there he's a very confident fella, which I can appreciate, because there was a point where he was the best welterweight in the world. That's gone. And now he has to start from scratch. So when I'm asking what the objective is, I'm talking about for him to look good coming out of that main event tomorrow. Does he have to knock him out? Like, in other words, if he doesn't knock out Barrios in under 6 rounds, would you guys call that a failure, or would you think that's okay considering he hasn't fought in almost 3 years? Like,
He has to knock out Barrios within 2 rounds, bro, and not get touched for me to say, well, he still fucking has it. It's like he never left. I would have said that shit. Two rounds and not get touched, bro. Like, he has to have, like, the first round, it has to be like a 10-7 or some shit. You know what I mean? Make him look just fucking dumb or some shit.
Well, that's LT. LT has high standards. You go ahead, J Money.
Yeah, well, he's a natural welterweight, and we've seen what Barrios did by getting, TKO'd by Tank, and Cruz took all his punches, and no Achilles. Was it that other dude? He went 12 with him, and he had no leg. So basically, I don't think if he doesn't knock him out, then it doesn't look good. Doesn't look good.
Bro, I tell you, bro, Isaac Pitbull Cruz is a real Mexican, carnal. You know what I'm saying? Not this fake, dudes that pretend, not this fucking fake Mario Barrios, bro. He's a fake Mexican. Isaac Cruz is a real Mexican, bro.
Well, he skates too, right?
Tacos, eats tamales, bro.
He's a skater, right? I mean, that's about as un-Mexican as you can get.
Bro, Mario is a skater that loves rock music, and he can't even talk Spanish, bro. The only thing he can say in Spanish is hardly his fucking last name, Barrios.
LT, are you one of those Mexicans that, like, if you're not, doing something Mexican every day, you just ain't Mexican?
Exactly, bro. Exactly.
You're a Mexican elitist. That's what you are, a Mexican elitist.
Mexican elitist? That's I've been heard. I mean, I've been called that before. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Oh, there you go.
Guilty.
And he's proud of it. And proud of it. Hey, we got Soothsayer 12 dropping by as well. Soothsayer, are you there?
678.
What's that?
It's me, 678. What's on your mind?
Oh, 678. Well, don't think that I memorize the numbers, first of all. And number 2, I can barely hear you, man.
You sound far away.
Yeah, it sounds like you get your microphone is on one side of the room and you're on the other and you're screaming at it. But, I mean, in any event, look, listen.
Bro,
yeah.
Let me say this real quick, bro. Look, bro, Mario Barrios, bro, is the equivalent of like G-Funky and D-Style that HCP want to be Mexicans at heart. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? I disagree with that. It's the equivalent of me and you, BDA. You know what I mean?
I will say the youngest coming boxers of Mexican descent, rather it be Mexican American or Mexican, is Mexican American is the best. So they gotta say like
All right, hold on. Hey, Boxing Corner, I'm gonna have to mute you because I can hear you. Boxing Corner, I'm gonna have to mute you because I can hear you in the background. There's a big background noise. Yeah, Soothsayer, yes, go ahead. I can hear you now.
Yeah. So would he have had a different opinion on Mario Barrios if he hadn't have been knocked out by Gervonta? Because I think, let me just say something. I can't stand looking at Santa Cruz and Barrios, and it's inside of me that I'm angry that Gervonta knocked them out. I'm a Mexican, by the way. Is that what LT? Is that why LT doesn't like Mario Barrios?
Nah, bro. I don't like Mario Barrios, bro. Because he says he shits pink and he ends up shitting yellow. You know what I mean?
What does that mean?
He says like he says he dances cumbia, but then you catch him, then you catch him fucking sing like dancing to reggaeton and shit. You see the difference?
Yeah, I get it. Hey, if I can make a point,
he likes his taco sideways, bro. That's what I'm saying, bro.
Hey, LT, but not everybody's naco, bro. You want naco Mexican, bro.
Bro. Bro, get it, bro. When when fucking Mario Barrios orders a fajita, he doesn't get it with pico de gallo. Do you know what I'm saying, bro?
Hey, Mexicans don't come just one size, homie. We're multi, dimensional. We can't just be one type of Mexican.
I don't think you know. I don't think you understand what I'm saying, bro. All right?
Maybe I don't. I don't know.
All right. Do you like pozole?
I love pozole, bro.
Do you like menudo?
I love menudo, bro.
All right. Do you like chile?
Not really. I don't like spicy stuff.
What the fuck, bro? Like chiles on every fucking Mexican dish, bro. Like what the fuck have you been eating all your life?
On. Let me take I'll tell you what Mexican I have a beef with, and that's Nate Diaz, because not a lot of people.
He's not Mexican, bro. He's Puerto Rican.
No, he's Mexican.
Oh. Well, you know how Puerto Ricans look like.
He's half though. He's half.
Let me tell you why. A lot of people forget that he was part of that Ultimate Fighter house, and there's like a 10-second clip. He was about to fight somebody in the house, and then the guy starts to mock him by speaking Spanish, and Nate Diaz goes, "I ain't no fucking Mexican." And ever since that, he rubbed me the wrong way. But listen, and it's not because, you can be whoever you want, but it's all these people are like, "Oh, Nate Diaz is Mexican." No, bro. He's not the moment he said that.
Well, that's an interesting thing there, because, I mean, he was born in the United States, right?
Mario Barrios, bro, like that is totally different, bro.
Wait,
you know what I'm saying?
You're telling me if Barrios started speaking half Spanish, like Spanglish, right, during the press conferences, and he shows up there with like a paleta de chile and all that, you would start rooting for the guy?
Yeah. Bro, if he fucking showed up, bro, wearing a fucking hat de pinche Chavo del Ocho, you know what I mean? Yes. That motherfucker, that's one of us.
But what's his... So if he's eating...
I saw him go in there, bro, wearing this fucking pink dress, which no Mexicans wear pink dress, bro. That's a fact.
I agree with that.
That's true, yeah.
It's a pink dress. Right now, go find me one.
But wait a minute, if he shows up eating a bowl of chicken chow mein, should Chinese people root for him? Because, hey, he's eating Chinese food and then, speaking Chinese, or, eating, let's say he's going around skinning dogs or something, that now Chinese people are supposed to root for the guy because of what he does? I mean, shouldn't you root for the guy based on whether he's an asshole or not?
Look, bro, I'm gonna base it on this shit, bro. He's not born in Mexico, so therefore not Mexican. So you can make an argument, but he is like culturally strong. Like he still fucking pops the piñatas. He still eats that cornitas with computer all. He still, you know what I mean? He still gets those fucking tacos. That Mexican, that shit that makes you Mexican, bro. You know what I mean? He doesn't have that shit. So what is he? Is he Mexican because he has the last name Torres or Rodriguez or Barrios, bro?
No, I think it goes deeper than the name. His face, man. He's Azteca as fuck, bro.
Bro, have you seen Ted Cruz, the senator of Texas, bro? That motherfucker can't pronounce his last name. Cruz.
He can. Hey,
Cruz, okay, bro. And are you gonna tell me he's Mexican, bro? No.
I mean, at the end of the day, I think we can all agree that the only reason why they're trying to prop him up as a Mexican is because the PBC needs the Mexican market. They're all obsessed with trying to get Mexicans in some form or another to their events. And this is
right. Everybody wants a piece of the Mexican market. The DAZN, PBC, any smart boxing business people. Oh, by the way, BDA, how rude of me. I should have greeted you beforehand. Yeah. How you doing?
Don't worry about it. Don't worry about that. It's just get right down to it, man. It's Open Lines Friday. There's no time for highs and hellos.
BDA. Yes. Whenever the PBC, man, they throw an event, they always have the black fighters coming out with mariachi stuff, right? And I've heard many people say, "Oh, that's because they want to appeal to the Mexicans." I gotta tell you something, man. That pisses me off even more. Seeing a black come out like a mariachi, I think they're mocking us, man. And I know a lot of people get that, but I think
that goes back to Roger Mayweather. That goes way back. They have been doing that for the longest time. It's up to the fighters, not the promotional company.
Well,
I just want to know if Canelo came out to like a hip hop song, with hookers, smoking crack, would everybody be cool with it, or would it be like, hey, that was dope. Eating chicken with a whole bunch of watermelon everywhere. Would everybody be cool with that?
Whoa.
Hey, that's during Black History Month too, on top of that.
Oh, BDA, whoa.
Wait, is Keith Thurman black? Is he Hawaiian? What is Keith Thurman?
I think he's Native American. He looks like a native mixed with like black.
Apparently, he's half black, half white. He's a hybrid.
He's got like a Native American look too.
He doesn't look like
y'all see that?
Hey, by the way, that's the other thing I brought up yesterday. I don't know if you guys heard this, but They was doing one of the previews for, I forget which fight it was. They were following him around with cameras, and he went to a bookstore, to show how smart he is. This is where I spent.
Talking about magic and stuff. Yeah, that was weird.
He bought the book, the Keys of Solomon, which is an ancient grimoire, magical grimoire. And I'm thinking, is this guy trying to open up portals or something? And is that where he's been for the last 2 years in another world? And he just came back with because if he knocks out Barrios in 2 rounds and he looks better than ever, would you guys say that maybe he's dabbling a little bit in the dark arts, or is that too crazy to say?
He's into that hippie stuff, sitting Indian style with his flute on the beach. He's into that. And on the PBC fight film, it was like, it's very, very good to do yoga. I'm like, okay, which black man does yoga the way he does? I doubt it.
That's a good point.
Adrian Broner.
He could use some yoga for sure. Could chill the F out, right?
Yeah, that Broner should do yoga. I mean, he's not. Trust me, he's not. He ain't doing no yoga. But I mean, at the end of the day, would it be good to have Keith Thurman back at 100%? Because I mean, he was entertaining while he was around. Certainly couldn't hurt the welterweight.
Yeah, I still think Keith Thurman, he's still a very strong guy, explosive and athletic. I think we need him as another name, like in the welterweight division. We need him in the mix. I don't mind Keith Thurman. And if you watch the Pacquiao fight, he was able, besides like him getting dropped, I think he was able to hit Pacquiao actually a lot. He's quite accurate when he does throw.
You know what? I was just finna say the same exact thing. Especially when he first started. If he would have kept on swinging at Pacquiao to stop, being acting a little scary, I think he could have won that fight.
Yo, Chibi, you do yoga?
Hell no.
He said, "Hell no."
Got time for that?
Yeah, he's too busy drawing anime tits to do yoga, man. Come on.
Yeah.
But, I mean, listen, at the end of the day, I'm trying to get something going here with the Keith Thurman thing, but I think that ultimately nobody really cares about Keith Thurman. Especially
I got to tell you something, man. I'm kind of a newer boxing fan, man, and I had to look up Keith Thurman. God, man, it's his look, the aesthetics, his fighting, everything about him, the weirdness, the magic, the spells, the missing the hair. I don't know, the lisp, the look half black, half... I don't know, man. Too many things against him. I'm sorry.
I'm gonna put this with Keith Thurman, okay? Because I'm at where Keith Thurman's from, Florida, and we personally like Keith Thurman, like, you know what I'm saying? It's just more a thing where we just don't like when he get on his goofball nonsense. Like when he was before he was champion. I felt like Keith Thurman was the next face of boxing, especially the performance he put on when he fought Sean Porter. But then the next... No, this is this is back in the day when I first seen Keith Thurman. I used to be out here yelling one time. You know what I'm saying? I really liked him. But then, you feel me? Like, once he started, once he became champion, I felt like he essentially became a diva. And that's where, and then, he didn't want to fight nobody. He always said, oh, well, I gotta do this surgery. Like, he started acting like a little bitch. So, after that, it was just like, I don't even want to rock. I can't even rock with him no more. And then when he fought Pacquiao, I thought he promoted, with Keith Thurman, I thought he promoted the Pacquiao fight real good. And I honestly was betting on Keith Thurman to win against Pacquiao, because I'm like, Pacquiao's an old man. Come on. But now, but with the fight he got with Mario Barrios, listen, I will not be surprised if Mario Barrios win that fight, because, like I said, he be on his goofball nonsense. How serious do you guys think he's taking this fight?
Oh,
Keith Thurman was back in the day. After he unified with Danny Garcia, he went and got married, and then he was hurt at the same time, and that's kind of when the whole blacking, being inactive started. And I think for this fight, anything could happen, man. I don't know.
I think he's taking it very serious. I'm going to be honest with you. I can see it in the press conference. I mean, there's just no reason he shouldn't take it this serious. Being inactive, all these things against him. I think he's going to come out strong, man. I really do.
Well, he looked in fantastic shape.
How seriously do we take Mario Barrios, though? I mean, I feel
he's a younger fighter too.
But he's also, even a faded version of Keith should be able to handle him.
in my opinion, right? So something would be really wrong if he loses this fight, you know.
Despite what, go ahead. Sorry, go ahead.
Came back last time. Keith Thurman came back off a 2-year layoff off when he fought Josecito Lopez. Josecito Lopez rocked him. So do we think that? How does Mario Barrios stack up against like Josecito Lopez?
I mean, we can't. At the end of the day, let's make fights. I think. And then he's more of the Mario Barrios is more of a taller fighter, and then on top of that, we got to remember Mario Barrios is hungry too. You know, he came off a loss in which I thought when he was fighting Gervonta Tank Davis, I honestly thought that Mario Barrios was winning the fight. You know, that's just what I saw. So
he was winning rounds.
Yeah. So it's more of a thing like this. If Keith Thurman loses this fight, he becomes irrelevant.
Should he retire?
He's coming to because Barrios is coming to a weight class that he's not even from. He's coming to Keith Thurman's weight class.
Exactly. Do you guys agree that Mario Barrios deserves that respect, man? Coming off of a knockout from Gervonta to take Keith Thurman fight. I know he's a watered down Thurman, but I mean, come on, guys. There's people out there that won't fight somebody.
Man, that's the man. Listen, Mario Barrios. Mario Barrios is a true Mexican warrior, man. He fighting everybody.
Before he got stopped, I thought he looked good while boxing him. You know.
Yeah, but like the issue is that Tank like didn't even try to step it up till the round he finished him. You know, like as soon as he went to another gear, it was like, oh, this guy is not at that level. I really felt like it was a very hesitant performance by Tank, and you know Barrios didn't show a lot of skills. And BDA, weren't you saying that he basically like of the 3 times you watched him fight, he lost 2 of the fights or something?
Who are we talking about?
Like Barrios. Somebody he lost to Akhmedov.
Somebody last
night. He robbed him basically.
Yeah, Jimmy said that last evening. He goes, well, you know, whenever he did step up, his best 2 opponents, like Medaliev, you could say he lost to, and then of course he did lose to Gervonta Davis, which is really, I mean, I get that's why I give credit to Gervonta Davis, because there was a big height and reach discrepancy, and Barrios just didn't really seem to be able to touch him. So I don't know how good a fighter he really is, and especially now 147. I think he should get iced. But so that's my question then. If Keith Thurman loses, even if it's by a close decision or something, should he retire?
Yes, absolutely.
Yes, of course. How can he come back from that loss? Like, because, like I said, bro, like everybody, he is the person that everybody. I'm honestly like the person I'm rooting for. I'm rooting for Mario Barrios because he's a younger fighter, and I feel like he can really bring out the best in a lot of fighters if he get his style, if he perfect his style. So I want Barrios to win. But if, like I said, with Keith Thurman, like he's older now, and like, yeah, he can sell, he can talk shit and everything. But if we all know if Keith Thurman even sat here and really even won a belt, he's gonna start ducking and doing the same bullshit he was doing. Barrios, he a true warrior, bro. He fighting everybody. He don't care who he fights. He just want to prove that he's great. So I'm going for Barrios in this fight.
Yeah, I think that's exactly right, GB. Like BDA asked, would it be good if Thurman won? And if rationality would prevail, I would say yes, right? You have another welterweight, he can bring in revenue. But the issue is this guy, he doesn't want to fight anyone, really. And he's signed to a promotional company, which makes it difficult already. So, if he wins, it's like it's worse for the division. But if he loses, I feel like retroactively, it really downgrades Garcia and Porter. I mean, I guess you can make the argument that Thurman is really faded, but he's like 32, 33, Injuries,
yeah, but he looks like he's 50,
all that side.
He looks like he's 50.
That's true.
Yeah, something, I don't know if it's a Chinese woman he marries who's sucking the energy out of him or something, but he looks old, man.
Yeah.
It's bizarre.
Maybe it's the spiritual energy has been drained from him from all these, Indian excursions and the clandestine activity, the occultism that you were talking about. Maybe he's into dreamer mastery.
Tell me, I would not be surprised if Keith Thurman came out on his entrance like one of those super Christian fanatics whipping himself and nails driven through his. Like I can see him with thorns on him carrying a cross. I can see that.
Yeah, I can see that too. Yeah. Man. He's going insane.
Barrios was on his witchcraft shit too, though. Like you saw the promotional video. Like, smoke in his face, all types of voodoo stuff too.
Yeah, the
like
skulls on the back of his like punk jackets and stuff. Yeah, man.
And don't forget, he desecrated the image of our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ when he told Pacquiao that he was going to crucify him. I mean, could you imagine if
Facts, bro. Facts.
Ooh.
Could you imagine if he was
really mad?
I mean, imagine he's fighting.
Really mad.
Imagine he was fighting at expense.
Filipinos are super Catholic, so yeah, absolutely.
Well, in the Philippines, they're so Catholic. They actually nailed them. They actually nailed themselves to crosses over there in the Philippines every Easter. That's how hardcore they are about it. And
yeah, there's one dude that's been doing it for like 30 years. Like they use him for every kind of like news piece. It's like one dude I recognize him ever since I was like 10 years old. He's still getting nailed up to the fucking cross. I'm like, damn, poor guy.
Are you sure it's the same guy? Because all Filipinos look alike. So
no.
Well, I'm just saying.
Come on, BDA. Whoa, BDA.
Do you know Buboy? He tried it and he broke the cross one time, so that's why he doesn't do it anymore.
That's good. Wait, did you see that tweet that Pacquiao put out after Ruiz beat Joshua? Where he was like, "I want to submit Buboy to be the next heavyweight champion of the world." That was savage.
Yeah, his own friend. No, but you know what? Listen, I thought it was. I'm surprised it didn't. When he told that to Pacquiao that he was going to crucify him, I'm surprised he didn't get more controversy, especially in today's world where they're always looking to create controversy out of something. But it just goes to show you that the Christian people are a marked people. You can say whatever you want
You're
about
allowed
Christians.
to make fun of Christians. You can't make fun of Muslims.
Yeah, you could. Imagine if Pacquiao was a Muslim and he said that about Allah. Oh, man. Canceled right there. No way. No way they accept that. Fox Air? Nah, no way.
Not just canceled, marked. They got a hit squad after him.
It's not right.
But what they need to do, this is what they need to do. What these fighters need to do is keep freaking religion out of boxing and motherfucker just fight. That's what they really need to do.
Chibi, I got a question for you.
Here we go. Go ahead.
Chibi, what's with that like black Muslims thing? Like, is that like new in boxing or what? Like Devin Haney and they're like
Muslim, and he didn't even go.
They've been doing that They've been doing that black Muslim stuff since like the Ali era. Like that's just a religion thing. Listen, I'm not really me personally. I'm not really a religious person, so I couldn't even answer that question. I really don't know.
They're militant. It's like, oh, this is how we show we're strong. It's like, I don't know.
I couldn't listen. I couldn't even tell you, dog. Like, I wish I could. Like, I don't know. All I know is, like, you feel me? They've been doing that since, like, even freaking Mike Tyson said praise Allah and freaking Muhammad Ali. You seen how what he went through, and like they just been doing that. But like I said, me personally, I don't really get down. Like, I just want to see a good fight. I don't know.
That's admirable, but what I noticed is like the most of the pure Muslim ones are the ones that are like anti-Latino. I've been noticing that.
Well, there's Nation of Islam, and then there are Muslims who are black or African Americans who convert to Islam. Those are different things. The Nation of Islam or 5%ers are kind of like a they
remind me of those group. They remind me of the Black Israelites.
Yeah, there's also the Hebrew Israelites. Yeah.
Yeah, those are like a supremacist group. It's not really a religious thing. It's a lot of like, no offense, a lot of like certain fringe elements of like the black community with the whole supremacist element.
Absolutely. It's hard to paint with one brush, Like a lot of Nation of Islam people do convert to mainstream Islam when they're exposed to different things, and there are different chapters. The problem is like with all of these terms, like even something as unified as Catholicism, there are lots of factions within it. That's very nuanced, but there's definitely, especially around like the 70s. There was definitely a strong like Black Power movement. A lot of these people were entwined with the like Panthers and the like and other militant groups. But the problem with all this history is you can't ever discount like
to be honest with you, like my whole thoughts on it, and like I don't really want that. Three things I never speak on is religion, relationships, and politics. But one thing that I always believed in, I feel like if we left religion out of a lot of things, I feel like the human race will progress. You know what I'm saying? Like even with this whole boxing situation, I one thing I don't like is when a boxer makes it a race thing. You know what I'm saying? Like when it's like oh, you don't like this. Oh, you don't like this fighter just because he's black and da da da. And then when Pacquiao like did that bullshit talking about he had fucked up his shoulder, but then all he did was pray to put some salt water on the shit, and now he's fucking healed. Like that shit just don't make sense to me. Like I'm like, bro, like and don't you gotta go through like a surgery when that happens?
What do you guys think about that? Like when Evander Holyfield, he used to be ultra super religious, and he would be like, "Oh, I pray, I'm praying to God that I come out victorious." So, in other words, he's praying to God that God's gonna favor him in beating the crap out of the other guy. I mean, isn't that a little bit? Is that a good point? Should religion be left out of sports?
No, and let me tell you why. Let me tell you why I don't think that's right. Even though it seems like that should be the right answer, that it should be out of sports, we wouldn't have had Foreman coming back, man. Because remember, he was taking care of the orphans, and he was running out of funds, so God told him that he needed to get back in the ring.
That's right, yeah.
But what religion got to do with him just being a good person and just want to feel like going back to fight?
I agree. We can see through that. We can see that. I get it. We can see that, Chibi. I'm a rational person. I can understand why that doesn't make sense. But I'm saying to these people that are already fanatical about that stuff, Foreman felt that way.
Yeah, Holyfield did the same thing because I remember they said he could never fight again. And shit, and the next thing you know, he said he went to a church and prayed, and now he can fight again. Like, bro, like I said, when it comes to the human mind, a lot of people, have a lot of a lot of thoughts, and everybody want to see something spiritual. So maybe so I understand what you're saying, because religion does give some fighters a push to go ahead and do something. So I understand exactly what you're saying.
Well, you know what? That's the other thing too. With Holyfield, when he fought Lennox Lewis the first fight, he had a dream. God showed him a vision that he was going to knock Lewis out in I believe the 5th round or something like that. So when the 5th round comes, Holyfield came out of the corner just winging shots and just he threw everything but the kitchen sink at Lewis, and then the round came to an end, and he didn't knock him out like the prophecy said. So if I would have been Holyfield right then and there, I would have dropped the religion. Because let me tell you something: when I join a religion, I don't join it as for a service. I join it for a result. And if I don't get that result, guess what? I'm shopping for another one. What do you guys think about that? Should you get your?
That is rough, boy. Oh my God!
Yeah, how many religions have you stopped in?
Please tell me. This is more interesting. Please tell me, like how many? Israelite, then Muslim, then Buddhism, and then Christianity, then the Catholic.
Taoism. Yeah, I've gone to the obscure ones. Like Taoism. I've gone to what's it called, Kabbalah, Sufism for the Muslims. I mean, it's all of it. But look, listen. The point is this. I even tried to look for those religions. The ones where you get the priests. And they're transgender priests, and they got the pink instead of... No, you've seen those, right, on TikTok? They're always dancing.
Yes, it's crazy, yeah.
Right, and it smells like sulfur when you go into those churches. It smells like the devil's in there, so...
Remember they said Obama smelled like sulfur, too.
That's the smell of sodom.
I mostly just believe in, like I said, you feel me? Like, I just believe, like, well, the only way how the human race is gonna progress if we put science in front of everything. Like I like you said, and I think that religion is a good thing, because it teaches everybody morals and whatnot. But you gotta think, when you look at America, and it's just nobody never see this shit, that when you look in America, bro, there are more churches than hospitals, my nigga. Like, why is that? Like, should we have more hospitals to help? But, like I said, it's a very, like, when it comes to religion and all that stuff, it's just a very touchy situation. And they need to keep that, and I think, me personally, they need to keep it out of boxing. They need to keep on just fight, you know what I'm saying? Don't sit here and say, "Oh yeah, man, God told me I'm finna knock him out in the 5th round," and then when it don't happen, every freaking Christian just saw that shit. So now they don't even know what to believe anymore. You know what?
Look, Black TV, the reason why there's more churches and hospitals is because it only takes one pastor or a priest to run a church, and not in a hospital. In a hospital, you need several doctors, several nurses, several clerks, several janitors, several etc. Do you get the picture, homie?
Yeah, I feel you. Yeah.
Okay, thanks, man.
You ain't lying about that. That is 100% true, though.
If more people were actually religious, not religious in name, not religious when I need to win a fight, actually religious in their daily lives, I believe the society would be a better place. More people, people would be less likely to do scumbag shit. Like, if you're genuinely religious, like, you don't steal from people, you don't talk shit about people, like, you have more of a moral standard, more fear to like fuck people over and do foul shit.
Yeah. Yeah, but then the world would be boring. But listen, all I'm saying is this. Listen, the only thing I'm saying is, bro, if we could just take religion out of a lot of things, you know, I feel like the human race was progressed because there was a lot of wars and everything over religion, and like it's just like if we just sit here and be like, okay, you know what, fuck all this shit right here, okay, and
I mean, in the 19th century, two of the most anti-religious communities, the Nazis and the Russians, you know, they doesn't necessarily
so much body count. The Russians,
it doesn't necessarily being anti-religious.
The Chinese have more.
And then being scientific doesn't automatically mean that you're going to be good moralistically.
Exactly. The Nazis were really smart, man. The Nazi scientists, top in the world. You know, inventors, really smart, but they lacked morality. Like they were the most evil people, despite being one of the smartest countries in the world.
Maybe a much better example is actually the early eugenics of the early 20th century, like at Harvard. You know, like Charles Band, like Davenport. Like few people know that back then Harvard even had like a eugenics department, and many prominent universities did as well. And these were, you know, these weren't just like cliched kind of like racist theories or whatever. I mean, this was at the forefront of science. Like the reality is that you can follow science to almost any end. You know, like what your orientation is, that's what matters. Like that's what informs moral decision and thought. You can use science towards any end, and you can make all kinds of arguments. You know, maybe the world would be a safer place if it was just a homogenous group of people, right? You could make the argument, and you could say in the long run, if I just kill all of these people, I could breed more of the same race of people, and it'd be, you know, that's a scientific argument. You know, it's just a horrific thing. So
and we could get rid of disabled people, anybody that's got bad genetics. You know, clean that pool out, make it an Aryan pool.
And listen, I mean, at the end of the day, this all sounds very dangerous, and again, it's a slippery slope, right? If you start allowing people to talk about one thing, or a boxer, you allow him to wax, you know, nonstop about religion or whatever. What else should you let people talk about? And the one that really made me wonder where we were at as a society was when Orlando Cruz, who was a fringe contender at best, was given HBO airtime, and they were doing puff pieces on the guy just because he said that he was gay. I mean, think about it. The guy is essentially telling you that he's into cock, and just because of that, he's earning spots on HBO. Now, I thought that was disgraceful. What do you guys think? Should certain things be kept separate from boxing, and that includes religion and sexual orientation? And just stick to
Let
boxing?
me give you an example of that. Let me give you an example of
Bro,
something like
yes,
that.
of course, bro. Sexual orientation, like, it's really, like... First of all, bro, like, if a faggot tries to, like, jump in the ring with you, he might try to...
That word.
All right, or a gay. First of all, if a gay tries to jump in the ring with you, he might try to fuck you right then and there, bro. He's just trying to, you know, throw some gloves. He might be trying to, you know, drop your shorts, bro. You never know. Grab your ass.
Absolutely. Think about, guys, think about MMA. The like fingers are uncovered. I mean, who knows what you could do with them and those clinches and those grapples, sticking them in all kinds of crevices.
Back to all seriousness, BDA. To the question you asked, if you remember back in the day in the I think it's late '90s, WCW, there was a wrestler. His name was Chris Kanyon. Does anybody remember him?
Yes, I believe I do. With long hair, right?
So he was he was a fruit, and he came out, and they basically like pushed him, and so far to the point where he actually committed suicide.
Oh,
so he can get a little scary as well. The other side.
You know, I actually heard that the reason why he committed suicide was because he didn't like who won on the Tony Awards that year, and that he just couldn't handle it.
Come on now.
I'm kidding. No, but what I'm saying, listen, yeah, that's a shame. But I've actually heard, and this is a guy that used to be a journalist for wrestling, not for the WWE itself, but he used to tell me, oh yeah, it's an open secret that those two guys, what were their names? They used to play the commissioners in...
oh yeah, Pat Patterson and Gerald Briscoe. Yeah, dude, they were fruity.
But they would abuse the wrestlers.
Yeah, like the ring boys. Yeah, the people that would set up the ring, sometimes they would get like young dudes. Yeah, dude, Pat Patterson, he's known notoriously for that.
Well, there you go. That's
okay, so this is like a really interesting subject that I always like to look at, you know? This was definitely a thing amongst like the Roman aristocracy. This sort of like, I don't know if it's called pedophilia, but this sort of like relationship between older men and like teenage to young adult boys. You know,
Yeah, and that
for
falls-
Hadrian,
that falls-
Barrios. Yeah, like, I think it's a thing elites do.
Yeah, that falls right into. It makes me wonder. Like that falls right in place with like, if you're a dude, you can fuck another dude, and that shows your masculinity, like your dominance. Like, it's in that same kind of pool. What's up with that stuff?
I think it's not about that. I think it's like a vampiric thing. No, I think it's like a vampire thing. Like, you know, it's like, you know, you're surrounded by youth, and that's rejuvenating to these like older elite men. But I think this is like a thing in the West, especially. The elites have done.
Yeah.
You know what? I need you guys.
The only thing the only group of people Christ commands you to kill, and this is in the Gospel of Mark, I forget exactly where, but it's pedophiles. He says you must stone them to death. That's the only group of people.
I'm telling you,
it's the only command he makes to kill anyone in the entire gospel.
Is it about people with a desire for it, or the people who act on it?
I think people who act on it, because
you're allowed
like
to have that desire now. You are allowed to have that desire now in this society.
It's more about demonizing people. It's like you transmit a demon to that child, you know.
Well, listen. I mean, this is. I mean, I need you. I need you guys to drop by the Second Renaissance at some point, because I mean, this is very interesting. This is the type of discussion we haven't had in a good long while over there. So, you know what we actually might do? We might actually keep this show to an hour and a half or two. We're already an hour into it, and then just fucking start a Second Renaissance, man. Because I mean, everything you're saying is very interesting. But just to bring it back to boxing real quick, you know, we talked about. We talked about.
I joined for right here. Let's go. What are we talking about, boys?
Well, listen, Keith Thurman. We talked about him, but we moved on. I mean, at the end of the day, we'll see what he does to Mario Barrios, if he can even knock him out.
BDA, do you see where Keith Thurman got us to?
You remember this is something that I prognosticated and I also called, and everybody was like, was in disbelief. I said if Andrade move up to the next weight class, he's going to try to fight David Benavidez, and I heard that's in the talkings right now.
Now, see if Andrade does that. What about that, fellas? If he does that, does he finally get the respect? Should he finally get even if he loses, whatever? Should he get the respect he's always demanded by fighting a guy like Benavidez?
Well, yes. Unfortunately, it depends how he fights, because his resume is not good. So
I'll be shocked if it even happens. I'll be shocked, man. It's a great thing to think about, and as soon as I heard it, man, I was like, "Oh, this is amazing." But I mean, I give it a 30% chance of happening.
Well, I think that he'll still retain his Roger Dangerfield title and just continue getting the respect, regardless of what he does for the rest of his career.
Oh, I got no respect.
I think it's a good fight. I think if he did fight, I think I'm going to give it a 50-50 fight, because like we never seen nobody. But this is my personal opinion. We just never seen two real dangerous fighters in the same ring. I'm like, how is he going to deal with David Benavidez and his? How is Andrade going to deal with David Benavidez throwing 100 punches around? And then you got to think like, how is David Benavidez going to deal with Demetrius Andrade unorthodox style? Like I think it's gonna I think it'll be a great fight, and I don't see that fight not coming by way of knockout.
Yeah, I'll tell you how he deals with him. He just beats the living shit out of him. That's what he's going to do to him.
That's pretty simple.
I'm going to be honest with you.
Andrade is a guy who couldn't beat Rosen, right? Like, you're just going to beat the dog shit out of him.
I think Andrade wins.
Wilder against Fury, too, in the first fight. Look what happened.
No, people thought he could knock him out. Nobody thought he was going to systematically beat him up. I'm saying Benavidez is going to, impose his size and will and just go to town on him. I don't see what Andre can do to stop him personally.
BDA.
He can't even grapple that hard. He doesn't even have the strength to hold a man like that.
BDA. How does this fight happen, BDA? Does it happen, and what's the road for it to happen? What moons need to line up? What stars need to line up for this encounter?
I'm telling you, man, the biggest obstacle here, it seems to me, is that I really doubt that Andrade all of a sudden now wants to fight Benavidez, because if he fights Benavidez, it's a big risk, perhaps the biggest out there for him. He would lose the Canelo fight that he's been yearning for. So I don't know if that, I've been hearing that rumor in blogs all over the internet about that fight, but I'd be very surprised if it happens, fellas. How about yourselves?
So BDA, would you not say that that's exactly the risk that you would be willing to take, being the fighter that everybody says, that they're saying nobody wants to fight Andrade, it's hard for him to get a fight. Well, isn't that worth the risk?
Listen, that to me, I go down on hookers. So I'm about as the biggest risk taker out there as you can find, but not everybody's cut from the same cloth as I am. So with Andrade, I don't know. He's been talking
same fabric. Now you got to think about it. See, now the 168 division just got dangerous. We got Jamal Charlo there. We got we got Andre there, and now we have David Benavidez there. So now it's more of a, and then like I said, it's more of a thing that all the corners are going to, because we're missing one big factor about this whole thing. All the corners are turning on Canelo. Everybody, like all these fighters, are chasing him right now. So if Andrade were to beat David Benavidez, bro, like what can these people say? Like it's nothing that they can say anymore. With that fight, if David Benavidez versus Andrade fight, I'm going with Andrade. But but that's a fight though. Like I said, everything is closing on Canelo with his Dutch bullshit. And like I said, it's going to, bro, he's not going to have a choice but to fight one of these people.
Chibi,
you know what I'm saying?
Let me tell you, I think you made a great point, Chibi. You make a great point, right? You can't deny Andrade after this. But let me tell you something. I'm under the camp that I don't think Canelo is ducking Andrade because, of any other reason other than who he's fought, right? So I agree with you. I think if he beats Benavidez, Canelo has to look at him. It has to happen.
Depends. I would favor like Caleb Plant to beat both Benavidez and Andrade personally.
Oh my god, that would be awesome.
Oh, dude, you need to chill. Hey, listen. So check me out. Because I honestly thought Caleb Plant is one of my top favorites in that division.
I'm pretty good for 21, huh? I'm pretty good for 20 now, huh? I'm pretty good, huh? I'm pretty good, right?
Now it's getting entertaining, and the walls are closing on Canelo to fight one of these three people that people really want to see him fight. Because even with the Caleb Plant fight, Caleb Plant is one of my favorite middleweights, and I was going for Caleb Plant. I was going for Caleb Plant all day. But the thing is, one thing that Caleb Plant had in common that with Billy Joe Sanders and all the other fights he fought lately is that they didn't have the power to really like make Canelo respect him. You know what I'm saying? But Andrade, Charlo, and David Benavidez, I think David Benavidez got more just the punches just keep coming kind of stuff. But at the end of the day, they have the power to make the fight so entertaining. And that was the only problem. Yeah.
But who I got to ask you though, Chibi, who's saying that the walls are closing in on Canelo?
That's what I disagree with Chibi.
I mean, where did that come from? Canelo's carrying this motherfucker.
Go, Jimmy. Go, Jimmy.
I didn't see you come in, Jimmy. How you doing? But listen, this is just my personal opinion. You know what I'm saying? I feel like the walls are closed. Like, look who's in that way.
I feel you.
The walls that are closing on him, him complaining about the smaller rooms in Bora Bora, where he's getting fucking weighted on hand and foot. Nobody's going to push him to do anything. He runs this shit. He says, I'll give you 10 million. You know what? You in your mouth. Shut up. I'll pick you and make 30 million, dude. Nobody's going to fucking, the walls aren't closing on. He'll pick the one. And if Andrade was the type of dude to say, yes, let me fucking build a legacy and fight Benavidez, which is going to be hard because he's with the PBC and they don't cross promote. But if that was the case, why would the fuck wouldn't he just fight that fucking kid? I'm not going to try to say his name. Z.
When it comes to Andrade's ducked three guys. He's ducked three guys that I could think of off the top of my head. He ducked Little Charlo.
Yep,
that's a fact. He ducked him.
Yep, he pulled out.
He ducked Lara.
Yep.
Okay. And now he's gonna duck Jennebeck, right? Whatever the guy's name is.
Facts.
So he's a duck. He's a duck. Right. First of all, he looked terrible in his last couple of fights. Not the last fight, not the guy that he knocked out. That guy that looked like he didn't even come to the win. Liam Williams. Okay, Liam Williams. He's blowing him out in the first 4 rounds. He runs out of gas.
Liam Williams is the guy that
stationary fighter.
Just to clarify, Liam Williams he went 12 with Williams, and then Quigley is the guy he knocked out.
That's what I meant to say. Quigley.
I actually saw that Quigley fight live, and I was
why would you do that though? Why would you spend money on? See, that's the thing though.
Another thing too. I wanted to ask you too this Jimmy. Like, we just literally seen that bullshit ass performance against Mukabe. Like the worst fight that fight was so fucking ass. And you said that's the fight you want to see when Canelo go against?
Hey, Jimmy, let me make a point. This is why the doors are closing in on Andrade, because look at it. He's like a cautionary tale right now. He's getting to the end of his career, and he hasn't gotten that big money fight.
Payday.
So what does he have to do? He has to risk fighting Benavidez, and that's the only way he can, they'll offer him Canelo.
And there's no guarantee because Canelo wants to go down the 175 route. Do you got to chase him back up there then, isn't it?
This is what I wish somebody could please explain to me, man.
All right, sorry, BDA, go.
This is something that I wish somebody could explain to me. Because we can talk all we want about who Andrade ducked, who ducked Andrade, blah, blah, blah. At the end of the day, who really is clamoring for, or who's demanding Andrade to fight Canelo based on the fact that when Andrade does step it up against the solid opposition, he ends up running around the ring, shaking his ass, and clinching in the last 4 or 5 rounds.
Tell you who.
I do, and let me tell you why. Go ahead, sorry.
It's predominantly the LDBC or predominantly
No. Listen, I'm clamoring for it. You know why? Because I want them to shut the fuck up already about Benavidez, Charlo. I think if he beats Andrade, you can clear all those guys out. He is the archetype for all of that same crop. He takes care of it.
They're never going to shut up.
No,
they're not going to shut up because, first of all, they were saying that, Charlo shouldn't fight Andrade before. Like, they literally just, pick their favorite of the lot. But, Jimmy, I wanted to ask you, do you think that it actually might behoove Canelo right now to just retire, like Floyd did after he fought De La Hoya?
No, he's not done. He's not done. He wants to etch his name.
No. I don't mean retire permanently. Sorry, I mean like step away from the sport and allow somebody
no, because he wants to do the opposite.
You're not
He's got more cherries to pick. He's got more cherries to pick.
So name the guy who wouldn't be a cherry that's not fucking... Remember, he started boxing. What was his first pro? 154? So
140.
When 140, he came in as a pro, 140 as a welterweight. Now when as a pro as a welterweight. So what's the chances at any time is anybody going to ever mention the name Errol Spence and Arthur Beterbiev? Until that happens, or any other welterweight, I don't want to hear any more that he's cherry picking. He's fighting what's out there. He just took over one division. He's going to do, and I'm not even the biggest Canelo fan. I like G better than him at the time, but you got to respect what the man's doing. But I'm telling you right now, fucking Benavidez, straight up, if he fought either Benavidez and Andrade, both of them are getting slept. I just think that Andrade would last a few rounds longer because he's got much better footwork and he can dance around much better. I think personally, Benavidez is tailor-made for fucking Canelo. Very upright. He takes a lot of shots. I just don't think that would be.
I agree with.
He needs to fight a couple of bet. Yeah, just needs to fight some guys, better competition. You can't come in off the guys he's been fighting and then take on someone, Canelo, who's at the top of his game. And the reason why he wouldn't step away would be the opposite. He wants to fight more often. He wants to shop and keep his shit sharp.
All right, Caleb Plant's a rookie, though. He's a rookie.
What's the point of seeing these guys fight, bro, if they're not fighting the best? Like, at the end of the day, we have high hopes for these certain fighters. So, like, why don't we just make these fights happen?
Well, that's what I'm trying to get at. I'm trying to get at this, though, because nobody... Sorry, I just want to make this quick point. Like, what I'm trying to say is none of these guys are taking the hint. Like, only Benavidez fought someone legitimate at his weight class since Canelo's last fight. Like, none of these guys are showing any inkling of trying to fight each other. It's the same crap, Charlo's hanging around waiting for Canelo. Even the smaller Charlo wouldn't fight Castano, even though he's tenuous at best in the running. I just feel like, that's the reason Canelo came out with this Macabre thing. He felt like these guys are just holding up the sport. They're not going to try to build a name for them. So if he walks away for 6 months to a year, maybe somebody has to build a profile for themselves, and then he could make 80 million or 100 million in his next fight.
But Canelo could go down the 175 route instead of the cruiserweight.
Oh man, really?
I honestly feel like him fighting at 175 is unfair. Because he's so undersized that you're just asking too much of him. I think that.
Would he not make his legacy if he got undisputed in that?
He would, but
yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Well, listen. First of all, let's clarify something here.
So go BDA.
Let's clarify something. The guy who came out with the Macabu projection was Reynoso. Even Canelo later on, he said, when he said that during the WBC convention or whatever, I had no idea that he had Macabu in mind. But then he said, but I'm a soldier. He said, but I'm a soldier and I do what Reynoso tells me. So, and that whole thing, he's not making the decisions.
I don't buy that.
What is that?
Why?
That listen, do you really think he didn't know that Reynoso was gonna? You don't think they talked, man, after the fight? Hey, I got Macabu. They had to. It just doesn't happen, man.
I don't think Canelo's
their line of communication is not that severed. Where I just randomly found out about it. I don't know anything. Eddie, money involved.
I think they keep him in the dark a little bit. That's why when he was in that A Los Golpes show or whatever.
If there's a conversation.
But what I was going to say is this. I think they keep his management, whoever's really making the decisions behind the scenes, I think they keep him in the dark a little bit. That's why when he was in that show, A Los Golpes, he couldn't really explain.
No.
He couldn't explain.
I can see
he
Bob
couldn't
Arum,
justify.
I can see Bob Arum doing that to Bud Crawford. I could see that happening, but not Reynoso to Canelo, bro.
I don't know if it's just. I'm not saying just Reynoso. Whoever else controls him, because you really think Canelo's the mastermind that's mapping out his future. There's people out there telling him.
Well, I think Canelo has a lot to say in who he fights next, because
he has the final word. Yeah, he has the final word every time. They wouldn't make a fight without it telling him. But if he was sitting down with some reporter or at that WBC convention, and his people, in most boxes, they don't. A lot of them, if they have a good working relationship with their managers, and this kid's been his best friend. He trusts that dude unequivocally. So if he just said to a reporter, yeah, I'm looking at this dude, and of course that's all it would take was him to say that once, right? And then boom, Twitter's afire, everybody's saying it. I could see Canelo finding out after once his name already said it, but would it have gone any further? Would he have actually sat down, sending back offers back and forth without dropping a phone call to him up at wherever? I mean, the dude's flying all over the fucking world playing golf. I don't know if you guys know that. This dude's he's got stupid money. I'm just saying. Well, I don't know how it went down. I just know that Ronaldo said that Canelo didn't even know that I was looking at that dude. He found out after the fact. And my opinion is I absolutely believe it, because it's just talk until it gets any further.
Hey, BDA, BDA panel. Did you guys the Macabu fight with that other African? The place they fought at looked like a Red Cross, African building. Did you notice that?
Yeah, nobody. But think about it. Nobody didn't even want to promote that fight at all.
It looked like a Red Cross fight for Africa. It looked like
you're not far off, because it was a Don King promotion in Ohio, so it's basically the same thing.
Hold on. I got a question. Don King is still a thing?
I was waiting to see the table set up for free, HIV injections for everybody.
Hey, man, you're on fire today, man. Let me tell you, you're on fire. No, but listen,
Wait, what are HIV injections? Is that when they inject HIV into you?
I guess, man. I'm not that smart. I just know what.
That'd be like a HIV vaccine.
That's what they gave the gays in San Francisco. That's what they gave the gays in San Francisco in the 1980s. Hey, but listen. That Mokunu won that fight. And I remember watching that fight on my phone. I didn't even bother to stay up and watch. I just said, I'll watch it on my phone and while I drift off to sleep. And Makabu is the definition of sloppy. This guy just goes there. Oh, God, it was terrible. He moves his hands a little bit. And people think that's why they looked at him and they say, oh, yeah, Canelo can beat him. Because he's awful. Yeah, I know he's a cruiserweight and all that, but he's an awful fighter. And it
was amateur night. Amateur night.
Ever. This is the guy Canelo was fighting? Him? Like, bro, who is this dude, bro? Like, the dude was trash.
It's too off fight, bro. TV, can I say something about Plant?
I would have respected it. The dude was even smaller than him. I'm like, bro, like, come on, bro. Like, throw a punch, right? Like, bro. Trash.
Well, I mean, if you guys ever listen to Chael Sonnen's show, he says the best way to do it, and this is his opinion. I don't know how you guys would view this, but you pick the worst guy for the best paycheck or the best thing for your career. So that's a great point. There's no fucking way Canelo would go and fight Usyk at cruiserweight. I heard a lot of talk about that. That's never.
And you can't blame him, and you can't look at it like that's some kind of a bad shocker.
No, I'm not looking at it like that. It's smart,
right?
And it also adds to the fact that Canelo can say, "I just want a fucking cruiserweight title."
No, but I mean, if you think about it, for somebody who's 5'7", I think he's done fucking well. If he was 6'1", 6'2", I think he could easily go all the whole way if he wanted to.
Here, look at it this way, guys. Everybody, look at it this way.
It doesn't matter, bro. Like I said, Canelo's supposed to be the number one best fighter in the world, and he picks him.
Hold on, let me ask something to Chibi. Chibi, were you a wrestling fan?
A what?
Were you a wrestling fan back in the day?
Of course, everybody was.
Okay, did you get mad at Bill Goldberg when he started? When his undefeated streak, when he was building a legacy, right? You can call it kayfabe wrestling, whatever. Were you mad at Bill Goldberg, man, when he was giving the sledgehammer to a worker?
So who? Wait, hold on. I'm trying to remember the.
You got Chibi.
It's been a long time since I watched this.
You got Chibi.
I'm trying to think too.
You got Chibi all confused, man. That's not when Chibi's confused. That means you really hit him.
I'll put it like this. I was very disappointed when they let Brock Lesnar beat The Undertaker in WrestleMania. That hurt my soul. So
They're saying the hillbilly wrestling. They're saying the hillbilly boxing hour. Listen, we gotta stick to boxing here. I understand what you're trying to get at with the examples, but wouldn't it be fair to say that Canelo should just, first of all, he hasn't even said that he's gonna fight Makabu yet. Nothing's been signed or anything. Wouldn't you guys rather see him fight Charlo? Because imagine the drama.
This is what the whole argument's about.
Yes. Joe Saunders over a Makabu fight.
Is that Thunderdome? That sounded like Thunderdome.
No, it's not Thunderdome.
That Makabu fight, sorry. I heard that fight's dead. That fight's not going to happen. That's what I've been hearing.
It's going to be like Shannon Briggs and fucking Sergey Lahovich. It's going to be so boring.
That's if it was up to me, I want to see Canelo fight. I want to see Canelo fight Benavidez.
Is he going to take Eddie Hearn's deal?
I said that I'd rather see Canelo versus Benavidez. That's who I rather.
Yeah.
Well, we're not saying that. We know that's a fantasy fight.
Yeah, it's not going to happen because Canelo wants it.
Benavidez, the only reason why Benavidez doesn't have a belt.
That fight goes over Charlo and fucking garbage Andrade. Come on, man.
Yo, recognize. Can you hear?
You gotta call him dog garbage now. Come on, man.
Andrade.
Fighter Spirit. Fighter Spirit wanted to say. Fighter Spirit wanted to say something. Yeah, go ahead, Fighter Spirit. Yes.
Oh, I've got a question. Oh, okay.
I wanted to mention about Plant because you guys were talking about Benavidez and how Benavidez will get Plant will beat Benavidez.
Yeah.
I don't think so because Plant quit his last fight. Everybody's like, feeling sorry for him, but Canelo made him quit. He gave up. He quit, and I have the proof. I made a video. He made a signal to the ref for this hand.
Your mouth, boy.
Look how Canelo Plant even got up when he got knocked down. He ran.
Hold on, Chibi. Hold on. I'm making a point. if Teofimo Lopez went out like that, just think about how much hate he's getting. But why are people putting Plant over Benavidez? I think Benavidez will serve Plant. That's just my opinion.
Yeah, he was serving. I think so.
Well,
and was he knocked out cold? No. Do I agree? Like he was laying there and like, fuck, I've had enough. By then he was sucking wind. He was dizzy. He was never hurt. I can't shade the kid, man. When he first got fucked up, the ref said, "You want to continue?" He said, "Yeah," and he took a few more shots.
No, he quit.
I mean, did he go out like a complete? Man, it's a hard thing to say, dude.
100% he quit. 100% he quit. I have the video to prove he made a signal to the ref. He made a little signal with his wrist.
I agree with. I agree with.
But yes, I just said that. Listen, I said that. I said he gave up.
No,
by giving up, like he didn't want to get up.
All the shit he talked, the slick shit he said, he knew the knockout was coming and he quit. I promise you. Imagine if Teofimo Lopez went out like that. But everybody's, come on now.
Speaking of Teofimo Lopez, what do you guys make about him going off the deep end? Yeah, man. I mean, the guy's talking.
I was going for
Hold on, one at a time, please. One at a time.
Yeah, one at a time, guys. One at a time.
Wow. I was going for Cambosos that night because I think Teofimo was a bitch boy. So I was glad. I was happy. I was playing that first knockdown. That shit had me so happy.
Yeah, but my question was, what do you guys think?
It was the robbery.
My question was, what do you guys make of Teofimo Lopez now going on Instagram and talking about how he wants to be left alone, and he's talking about how screw being humble, it's about the new energy or whatever he said. What do you guys think about that? Do you think he's becoming, who at this point is still rooting for Teofimo Lopez is my question.
Listen, man, the big answer to what you just said is, who the hell is Teofimo Lopez? Nobody cares about him. I'm surprised we're even talking about him.
Well, I mean, that's Chibi's opinion right there. So, anybody else? Like, what do you think about who else?
Care about Lopez, bro?
I think that Lopez, if he has a problem with the internet, stay off the internet. That's it. Just nobody's putting a gun to your head. Nobody's forcing you. Just stay off the internet.
Yeah, him and Ryan Garcia, proper Americans.
Oh, that's the other thing. Ryan Garcia is coming back, taking on Tagoe or some African guy.
Who the fuck is that?
I mean,
who the hell is whoever he's fighting, I hope that's him out.
I think they found him at the Makabu Mukunu fight. He was in the crowd. And they said, "Hey, man, you wanna?"
He was a valet guy.
No. You know what happened? You guys remember when Roy Jones Jr. Had like a fucking vote for all of his fans or some shit? He did something to where his fans could get an opportunity to fight him.
Oh,
remember that?
Yeah.
It was at like the tail end of his career in like 2015 or some shit. But I think that's what happened with this guy that Garcia is supposed to.
It's funny. You say 2015 was the tail end of his career. I say 2005.
Yeah, I mean, that's what some people would say.
Well, I mean, like box rec status.
No, I know what you mean.
Yeah.
Hey, guys, recognize. I wanted to say to you and BDA especially. I want to hear what you guys say. Did you guys end up hearing Keith Thurman was asked, "What's your response to people who are upset that your fight after this whatever is $75?" Did you hear what his response was? He got indicted, and when he got indignant. He was like, "Well, hey, listen, don't get me talking about the economy. Fucking put my political hat on. The inflation. You know what it costs to fill a refrigerator? Come on, this bubble gum isn't 25 cents no more." That was it. So his answer was, because inflation and working class people, like I just read, it's harder for them to put food on the table. Therefore, you should pay $75 for a fucking kid coming out of retirement off a loss. So what do you think about that, guys?
My response to that, Jimmy? You know what's my response to that? Simple. When he would have said bubblegum isn't free, or whatever he said, bubblegum is not $1 anymore. Right. I would have said, neither are your pay-per-views.
Oh,
that's cold.
I would say people actually, bubblegum is a desirable good. Like, bubblegum is something people want. That's why they pay $1.25 for it. I don't think they pay $1.25 for this pay-per-view.
I think what's his name? Keith Thruman should be lucky he's American, because there's no way in hell he would have said that in English. He'd be lucky his pay-per-view's £10, he'd be lucky.
Yeah, I mean, and everything's pay-per-view over there, man. I recognize what the fuck. Yeah, recognize, man. There's
still in that fight, man.
I think Recognize getting sucked off.
by a robot or something. What the fuck? He's getting sucked off by the what? Yeah.
Does anybody remember if Vasily Lomachenko's first fight since the Lopez loss was a pay-per-view?
No, none of his fights are pay-per-view. That's the one thing I love about Lomachenko. His fights are free.
Oh well, I watch it all illegally, so I wouldn't know.
Your feds are listening.
What I'm saying is, I wouldn't blame you for watching these fights illegally. But the thing about Lomachenko, if you just got fucking cable, ESPN, you could watch him there, or like ESPN Plus. Yeah,
right.
Lomachenko is like
because I remember a lot of people being psyched for the Lomachenko fight against that Asian kid. I forget his fucking name.
Nakatani?
Yeah.
Nakatani?
Yeah.
Masayoshi?
Yeah, I know who you're talking about.
Lomachenko is like the definition. Lomachenko is like the definition of casting pearls before swine, man. Like, he gets so much hate for no reason. You know, like, he's literally the definition of what a fighter should be. That dude's an animal, man.
So do you think when the fight out of Lomachenko and Devin Haney?
What's the common denominator between Lomachenko and Usyk? Oh yeah, that's right. They're both Ukrainian. Yeah.
And they fight the same fucking way.
Chibi, I heard you, Chibi. I agree with you, Chibi.
Well, that's a revelation right there.
Yeah, Chibi.
You know what? Here's the thing.
Yeah.
Lomachenko dunked Haney, didn't he?
Oh, here we go.
Yeah, I think so.
When did that happen? When did that trade take place?
No,
when did he duck Haney?
Well, this is what I heard. Haney said that he
became
mandatory. I think only one people. Hold on. When is the time, guys? What's that?
One at a time. Come on.
All right. So what happened was, Devin Haney became Lomachenko mandatory, and that's how Devin Haney ended up getting that belt because Lomachenko had vacated it for not fighting Devin Haney.
So let me get this straight. Let's say
okay. BDA, take care of it, but that's not how it happened. But
I know. But let's say it was whatever, right? So. Teofimo, you guys would have rather have seen, those of you that are saying that Lomachenko avoided Haney, you would have rather seen him fight Haney, who hadn't beaten anybody of note at the time, instead of fighting Lopez, who had at least had the wins over Tatel, Nakatani, and Comey. No, but Lomachenko should have fought Haney instead because of a fucking paper belt.
And when it became a paper belt, I thought a belt was a belt.
No, well, that's where you're wrong. That's where you're wrong. That you're listening to. See, that's the problem. These belts. Everybody always talking about these belts, and they're all.
Like I just feel like this timeline makes no sense, right? Like, he beats Campbell. That's when he gets the WBC. Why should his next fight be a WBC mandatory fight with Haney? Like, how is that a duck? He's trying to unify the division.
Yeah,
that's what I'm saying. There's no way you can see it as a duck. I'm looking at the timeline, right? There's about a year between the Campbell fight and the Lopez fight. There's not even enough time for a duck. That's just an insane accusation.
There was no contract offered. Okay, I mean, it's absurd. There was no contract. He wasn't as mandatory. I mean, that's a fallacy. That's just a made up fallacy, dude. And I'm not blaming Chibi for it because he's not the only one who says it. It's just a part of the Lomachenko hate.
Listen, even Devin Haney said when they asked him, "Will Lomachenko fight you?" He said, "Yeah, definitely, he'll fight me." Why do you think he said that? Why?
But he didn't fight him. He gave him.
No. That's not the question. First of all, he didn't vacate. He did not vacate. He was
just trying to manifest
franchise.
He was elevated. He was called. Hold on, man. Hold on. He was elevated. Do you know the meaning of elevation? Above.
Right. You're right.
You're above. Yeah. Okay. You are above. Okay. So if I say I'm elevated from you, right? If I smack you, and I'm not saying literally, if I smack you and I say, "Move, son," I'm above you. What does that mean?
That he's not worth your time.
I think he just mentioned, like, yeah, he'll fight me. Like, yeah, it's gonna happen. Like, you know, trying to promote it, trying to manifest it. That's all. Because he showed on his Instagram that he DM'd Loma, like, trying to set it up.
Well, if he DM'd
But fighters don't DM each other. Managers send contract offers. They have to sit down. It's a big deal. DMing each other don't do shit.
Regardless, Haney got the belt.
Haney even said when he was talking about Teofimo Lopez.
I like Loma. Loma's a beast. I'm not a hater. Loma's a beast, but
Loma didn't duck him. Okay, he did not duck him.
All right, listen. This is fucking. Listen. This whole conversation.
One at a time. Go ahead.
This whole conversation. This entire conversation is dumb. We do this 1,000. I hate. I don't want to disrespect anybody. I'm not trying to disrespect anybody, but it's been talked about ad nauseum. Here's the point, man. If the fight's gonna happen, you got to take care of Devin Haney first, right? You got to give him the size of gloves he wants. You got to give him the location he wants. You got to make sure that he's pampered the day after, that you got some talcum powder for his ass. I mean, that's the way it works with all these fights. With Lomachenko is when, where, how much. That's it. There's no haggle. So anybody that's looking at this, 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 anybody that's looking at this and thinking that it's Lomachenko's fault, I gotta tell you, you haven't been following this guy's career. Now let's move on to another subject, because this fucking shit is tiresome. I tell you what's
it is tiresome, bro. I wanted to say this, bro. Might as well fucking Lomachenko be Mexican, bro. Because like legit, bro, Lomachenko is another Mexican, bro. All right, bro. You tell him Mexican, bro, go fight him. And he'll go fight in England, bro.
Exactly. Let LT finish, bro.
Like a real Mexican, bro. Shout out to Lomachenko and his dad, Papa Lomachenko. You know, these Ukrainian fighters, bro, they're just like Mexicans, bro.
All right, now you're going just a little too far here. You're jerking yourself off there, LT, with the whole Mexican thing. Like, we're so great that, you know.
If you understand what I'm saying, bro, all right, let me say what I'm trying to say, bro. Mexican fighters are the same. Like, how many Mexican fighters have been fighting in England recently? You just tell them, go fight over there. All right, let's go. We don't care. Fuck it. Am I wrong, guys?
Well, I guess the thing with that is you don't hear Mexicans, begging for a hometown fight.
Thank you, bro, because all the fucking Mexican fights are all out of Mexico.
Did Oscar Valdez sign that contract up?
Look, Black Chibi, you owe money to my homie, bro. Let's be fucking real, all right? You owe my homie money, bro, so don't even start.
Who are we talking about? Wait. Who do you owe money to, Chibi?
Listen, all I did was ask you a question. That's all I did. I just was asking when he signed the contract.
Wait. I want to ask LT,
bro, all right?
What do you mean he owes money? He owes your homie money. What happened? I want to hear this.
Black Chibi made a bet with my homie John Blake. Hold on. Let me answer you, bro. Black Chibi thinking that fucking Caleb Plant was gonna beat the shit out of fucking Canelo in the 11th round and shit.
That's fact.
My homie Johnny Blaze for fucking $30 at least. He fucking appeared, came back like 3 months later, bro.
Chibi, is that true, man? I can't
Since we're on that subject, it wasn't that I was I'm gonna give him the money. It wasn't that I was ducking him or anything like that. It's just at the time this phone that I have is a brand new phone. I lost my phone. You feel me? So that's just what it was. That's why I haven't. You'll even notice on my YouTube page I haven't been even posting nothing until I just got my new phone and shit.
Wait, that's not true. I mean, I gotta call you out, Chibi, because I see you all over those hentai websites and forums. You're there all the time downloading porn. So you must have been online, man. I think
it's kind of like Canelo. He wants payday. It's payday time.
Yeah, pay the man. You gotta pay the man, man. I mean, come on, what's going
on? I am gonna pay the boy. I am gonna pay him. You feel me? But all I did was ask him a question. Why didn't you just answer my question, though?
Black Chibi, are you subscribed to Southpaw?
Yeah, I'm subscribed. I'm the funniest nigga on fucking YouTube. He's funny as hell. Like, look at him, bro.
Southpaw watches this, Hey, Southpaw, stay out of Richmond. I promise you I'll fuck you in the ass till you love me so.
Oh, wait, what are you talking about? Jeez, Luis, this is turning
aggressive, buddy.
This is getting dark, man. This show's getting, this episode's getting dark. I gotta intervene.
TB's a racist. TB's a racist. That's why he subscribes to Southpaw, but it's cool.
Come on. Now listen.
Somebody that
I am interested in something here. Who do you guys think right now? Just like just one person answer for the time being. 5 fighters. Name 5 fighters that you think are making the right moves in boxing. The guys that really represent what boxing should be all about. Who wants to name off 5 fighters? Come on, somebody. All right, Jimmy.
I would say Usyk.
Chocolatito.
Chocolatito. I was going to throw him on there, but his advanced age. Donaire. I like what he's doing. I like the fights he's asking for. Lomachenko. I would have put in Inoue, but he took a soft one. But we'll see from there. There's a handful. It's nowhere near the representation of the size. And if you look at it, it's one consistent thing right now.
You said 4.
Whether it's contract, it's BBC. I only hit 4.
You only got 4, yeah.
Okay. Joshua. I think Joshua too. I think Joshua doesn't duck anybody. I think he's doing what he has. Well, I mean, he's fighting these rematches. Well, he's supposed to take on his rematch. I mean, he is. I mean, he lost to Ruiz. Just because he lost doesn't mean he wasn't taking. He was told, I guess, by his people not to take that fight, but he took it, and then he got the rematch. You know what I mean? I'm not saying like. But what about there's a handful of guys. That's it.
It's a good list there, Jimmy.
I'm sorry, Bam Rodriguez, absolutely, and another kid, the Spanish kid from Puerto Rico. I think everything he's doing, the direction he's going in his career, the people he's fighting, very good. Exactly, I think he's doing everything right. But that's it, BDA. So I'll give it back to you.
That's a good list there, Jimmy. But it's interesting that it did take a little time to think about it, which is a shame. Because there's a lot of guys out there that just aren't making all the right moves. Now, I gotta say, Devin Haney, when it comes to lightweights, at least him and Lomachenko, they're fighting. They're fighting decent fighters. A guy like Ryan Garcia is a guy that's at the bottom he's the bottom of the barrel right there, man. He's fighting Tagoe or whatever. We don't even know if that fight's gonna happen. I'm not gonna believe that fight's even gonna happen until I see Ryan Garcia in there, because you never know what's gonna happen with the guy. He's gonna fall into depression again.
Ryan Garcia haven't even win a belt.
So Keith Thurman shouldn't get hate either, then, right? Because he's fighting Barrios, which Tank fought, and I mean the competition that Tank has been fighting is really the same as Ryan. I think people are just
Keith Thurman gets worse than hate, bro. He gets indifference, man. We tried to talk about him earlier. We all just forgot about him and started talking about some.
I heard you guys. You guys gotta put some respect on Thurman's name, man. Thurman's a cool dude. I feel like you guys are going off on him because he does magic. But if you guys see BDA's logo, it's actually the Saturn. BDA's logo is the Saturn matrix representing Satan.
What are you trying to get at there?
That can't be for me. I didn't even know he did magic.
No, I'm talking about BDA. BDA's logo.
I don't do magic. What are you talking about? I don't do magic. What are you talking about?
That has to be the Saturn matrix logo, right, BDA?
The Saturn logo. I mean, it's like NASA, where they have that fucking thing there too as well. I mean, I know some people are gonna say, well, NASA too is into that type of shit. What I'm trying to get at here, you made a good point actually, Chibi, not about the magic, but about Thurman and Barrios. Because if you think about it, this fight is considered trash, and yet Barrios is considered one of Tank Davis's best opponents. So if Thurman just washes the floor with the guy after a 3-year layoff, what does that say about Tank Davis's resume?
Well, if you think about it, it all depends on the context too, because Tank Davis was coming up 2 weight classes.
Oh God!
And
he was coming down. He was coming down.
Yeah, he came from 135. He went up 1 weight class. In fact, the last time he fought at 135, he struggled to make the weight. He almost missed it. He had to take 2 tries to make it.
Yeah, you remember he
never that kid's problem.
Yeah, that guy walks around 170 pounds, 5'4", man. He's like 170, 180 pounds, 5'4".
That kid's fucking living on poo-poo platters for 2. Trust me.
Like I said earlier, I think that freaking Keith Thurman is a fucking cornball, and I'm really rooting for Barrios to win this fight.
Well, there you go. I mean, it's
that would make Davis look a little better.
Very
But
bold opinion. I like it.
It's a bold opinion.
I think Thurman's back to get cashed out. I think he's going to cash out against either Spence or Crawford. I mean, that's what his plan is. He's going to plan to win this fight and go against one to two and lose.
Yeah, and this is, believe me, this fight right here, the reason why they're dragging Dustin his old ass off out of retirement, because they needed another fucking reason. Because if you go down the PBC list, all right, who was left for Spence to avoid Crawford with? Oh shit, okay, we got fucking the other kid who's with Showtime. I'm not gonna fucking touch him. Boots, no way, thank you anyway. But we got Thurman, but that dude's selling fucking Frosties out of 7-Eleven, which he's I guess owns a few of them. But anyways, so they give him, they fucking spoon feed him the kid whose claim to fame is getting fucking smoked at 140 by a lightweight. So they're going to put on pay-per-view. So if now he goes on and dominates, now they're going to do the long-awaited Spence Thurman fight. So it'll just be another reason to try to age out Crawford or not fight him at all. I'm done.
Yeah,
that was beautiful.
At all if Crawford versus Spence turns into a Lewis versus Bo situation. I wouldn't be surprised at all.
It's never going to happen, man.
I'm telling you, it's never going to happen. I don't think nobody really want to fight right now.
Yeah, that's a really good point. Like the Bo Lewis situation was one where Eddie Futch didn't believe that Bo could beat Lewis, so that's why that fight never happened. You know, the same thing here. Al Heyman doesn't believe Spence could beat Crawford, so that's why that fight never happened.
Boots this is who in this Boots fight, and he'll really get a name for himself to get out there.
Chibi, I agree with you though. Chibi, I agree with you about religion and all that, and I feel like BDA, with all due respect, when you talk about Jesus and stuff, you never know, you might push away people, so you should try to not talk about Jesus.
I don't. If I gotta first of all, if I push people away and it's because talking about Jesus, then guess what? Call me the pusher because it ain't never gonna stop. That's number one. Number two,
I love it. I love it. That was
Number two, shout out to Paper Tiger for his contribution with the super chat. And he says Lomachenko is such a bad matchup for Haney. When you fight a counterpuncher, you can basically control when they punch with movement, rhythm, and feints. Absolutely, Paper Tiger. Yeah, and
excellent point.
If you stand still in front of Lomachenko, that's he's gonna work you over. So that's an interesting point.
That guy should join this chat. That guy knows some boxing.
Paper Tiger. You should call him, man. Paper Tiger. Yeah, he has some good points, man.
Hey, I want to remind everybody.
Man, fucking Jesus is BDA's co-pilot, man. You ride and dies with him, so people are gonna have to deal with that shit.
Yeah, it's just it comes. It's a packet.
It's a fucking channel.
That's what I tell women, man. I tell women, look, you're going out with me when we're banging whatever. You're banging Jesus too. It's a package deal. Just deal with it. Now, I want to remind people. I want to remind people we will be moving over this discussion to the second Renaissance in about 15 minutes. We were talking about magic. We were talking about esotericism. That's going to be the continuation right there. So stay tuned for that. In regards to the boxing here so far, I mean, look, it seems like we always end up discussing the same thing. Canelo, Fury, those are the things that are going on right now. But does it seem like this year is starting to get off to a bad start? I mean, I know we're only a month in, but what do you guys think compared to 2021? Do you think this year is going to be a bit of a letdown, or?
No, I think this year started. I think this year started beautiful.
One at a time. Cloudy, go ahead.
I feel like you have to give last year a bit of a pass, though, because we were still coming off of COVID. Nobody really counted last year except for Fury Wilder 2 and Lopez and Lomachenko.
I'm not saying no. I think you misunderstood. I just want to clarify. Last year was sensational. What I'm saying is this year, it's not getting off to the best start compared to 2021. So my question to you fellas is, do you think, early prediction, do you think this year is going to live up to 2021, or do you think it's going to disappoint compared to 2021?
My personal opinion is I think that it's starting off beautiful. I mean, look at the fights we got coming up. We got the Castano versus Charlo. We're still waiting for Oscar Valdez to sign that contract, and now the Charlo versus Canelo is in the talking. Like, I think this shit's starting real good.
Who keeps telling you Canelo's in talking with him? That's not the case. But anyways, dude,
I want to know.
His manager already said. But yeah, no, listen, coming out of COVID, because the fucking sport took it in the ass, PBC guys didn't fight at all. There was kind of a log jam, so it spilled over into 2021. I don't see this year living up to the hype of last year, but there's a lot of potential fights, could be good. Will these guys find their sack and realize instead of trying to glory snatch off somebody else's legacy, create their own and make the fans demand they fight? Done.
Within like 1 month of the pandemic in 2020, we got like Zepeda versus Baranchik. You know, like that's already better, you know, than this year. Like that was 2020. You know, I'm looking through the end of March on BoxRec, and the most high-profile fight I see is Khan versus Brook. So I'll just leave it at that.
That's a good point.
And like we got 3 undisputed last year. Taylor, Ramirez, Cristano, Charlo. There's one more, wasn't there?
Is Khan versus Brook even being played in the U.S.? Like, can you
ESPN.
watch that on TV?
ESPN.
Yeah, ESPN.
ESPN's carrying it, yeah.
I think that's the same thing for Fury.
Yo, can I just say to all the folks on the chat who talk shit but never hit the link, you guys are some straight bitches. But all love to BDA in the panel.
All right. Well, that's, some good came out of that, I suppose. Who was saying? Changed Man was talking? Or Cloudy? Which one of you was?
I was saying. I think this year is gonna look great as well. I think hopefully Canelo fights at least like 3 times. I mean, Khan versus Brook for what it's worth is already signed. Then it's Jamal Charlo. Then AJ is gonna run it back with the Usyk. Then we're gonna find out AJ and Usyk is gonna run it back. So we're gonna find out for the final time who's gonna hold the 3 belts. Then Fury and White has to be signed by February 19th, I believe. So one will emerge out.
When Andy Ruiz beat Joshua, why didn't anybody put Andy Ruiz on the pound for pound list? But they put Usyk.
That's my question.
He's a 2-weight world champion. That's why.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, he was the unified fucking cruiserweight world champion.
He was undisputed.
Undisputed. No, he's had all the belts. Plus, he won the fucking the tournament. The dude, you take everything's on a road win. You know what I mean? Like you add all that in, then you take Ruiz, who what it looks like now had a lucky punch. I mean, what did he do before and what has he done after? I mean, there's an obvious reason why they put him on the pound for pound list. And then never mind, we fought a giant compared to him. Come on, dude, you know better than that. You give us better. Give us better.
I agree.
If AJ ran it back with Andy Ruiz and in 6 months and won it back, and if AJ, for some reason, for some miracle, wins the rematch with Usyk again, I think that's better than Luis, right? Lennox Lewis, because Lennox Lewis, I don't think he ran it back in 6 months. I think it took him like a year or so, right? To get his
against Rockman, though, was very quick. Against McCall, it took a few years.
McCall, 3 years, wasn't it?
McCall,
yeah.
McCall went through some mental stuff. No, McCall went through a lot of like mental difficulties after he lost to I forget who. Someone beat him high profile.
Frank Bruno.
That was it. Yeah, but I don't know about being better than Lewis, but I think someone mentioned like Joshua's fight, right? Like I don't know if you guys watch Paulie Malinagi's channel, but he was making the point that he wanted to see Wilder versus Joshua. And part of me actually kind of wishes Joshua would take a step aside and make that fight right now. I think that would be a very exciting fight. I think that would be a good fight for it.
Why would he take step aside money? I mean, was that even real?
He gets step aside money because he gets step aside money and he gets to fight Wilder.
Was it even real? Was it even real?
Oh, you never know. I guess like I don't know. I'm just saying it's a hypothetical possibility. Who knows?
From what Eddie Hearn said.
Can we take Wilder out of this discussion? Because I don't think Wilder's coming back. Like he shouldn't come back.
No, that's true. That's true. Because there was talks of like him coming back, but his handlers, they said that that's not true at all. He's not coming back. But I think with Hearns, the recent development, I mean, we don't know because Frank Warren is saying one thing, Hearns is saying one thing, but Hearns today said that they were discussing that 15 million step aside, which was real, but Fury said we're not going to fight
but I'm not gonna fight Usyk right now. I need a tune-up in March, and then in June I'll fight.
You see what I'm saying, bro? You see what I'm saying? Like this is so. Why would AJ take a guy's word like Fury and say, "Okay, give me $15 million, then I'll step aside. You fight Usyk." The guy just said, "No, I'll give you $15 million. I'll take a tune-up, then fight Usyk." Doesn't make sense.
You don't take his word for it. I mean, you just take the bank transfer, right? And then if he doesn't fight Usyk, he can fight Usyk.
Apparently, Fury said he's not even going to fight White, so they're going to have to pay 2 step-asides for White. That means because if AJ's frozen out for 2 fights with Usyk, then White is frozen out for like another 3 or however many. So it was just like a huge. It was not going to work out in the first place.
You know what's going to happen? He's going to take what's it called? The stupid Super WBC title. That bullshit franchise. That's what's going to happen with Fury.
Hey, while we're talking about Fury, let me just say, the idea of Andy Ruiz fighting Fury, I know a lot of people here will dismiss that, right? I understand what Andy Ruiz has been criticized for, his ethic, how the fame got to his head. But if we talk about just his pure fighting, man, I'm going to be honest with you. Anthony Joshua dropped him. And what did he do? He got up and knocked him the fuck out. I understand what Chris Arreola did. You know, he got a little chinny, but he got up and he kept hitting. Andy Ruiz, man, hits so fucking hard. He's so fast. I'm sorry, I may be in the minority here, but I think Andy Ruiz would knock out Fury.
And nobody can knock out Fury. Fury is not.
I don't know about that, but I feel like the fame didn't go to his head; it went to his stomach.
Andy Ruiz can't throw straight punches, so he's not going to knock Fury out because he's a hooker.
I don't think Andy Ruiz has like power. Like he swings just his shoulders out. He doesn't put his body into it. So a lot of the times you'll see his hooks. It'll look really fast, but he doesn't even put his body into it. Like Chris Arreola.
Arm punches. Yeah, you're right.
Okay, so do you think AJ could beat Fury?
I think so.
No, bro, nobody cannot beat Fury, bro. Fury is freaking unbeatable. He's not a human being. Like we gotta just leave it alone.
Anybody would have is Usyk.
Nobody can. Matter of fact, you know what would be a good fight now that I think about it? And maybe Andy Ruiz will get a lot more respect because he does. I think he does deserve a lot more respect than he gets. If he were to fight Frank Sanchez.
Who?
Frank Sanchez.
No. They won't do it.
Same camp.
They're in the same gym.
I mean, am I missing something? Like, Jimmy, does Frankie Sanchez like scream to you like a triple threat? Like, this is a guy that could beat big ass fucking Tyson Fury.
No way.
Frank Sanchez.
Hold up. Could he even beat half retired Wilder? A guy who's like half retired.
Sanchez is good if I'm having a hard time falling asleep. I'll just slap a fucking one of his fights on him, and I'm out. That motherfucker puts a lot of people out. He puts everybody out, just not the guys in the ring. But anyway, no, I think Usyk and Fury would give Fury the toughest fight, but I think that would be an absolute snooze fest. That's just my opinion.
I gotta tell you, I gotta interject a little bit.
Sorry.
I gotta interject a little bit with this Frank Sanchez hate because the BDA board of directors tells me that we have a contingency of Cuban listeners. In fact, we got Cuban callers too. Some of them that call deep from the jungles of Cuba on CB radio. So I just gotta say, yeah, Frank Sanchez, he's boring. But let's give him the respect. You know, Bivol is boring too.
I apologize, BDA. Listen, I don't want to upset the board members. You know, I do care about what the board members say. I'm just saying the guy's boring.
He is.
BDA,
you guys
unfortunately,
you think Frank Sanchez can beat Canelo? Like, honestly, like if they were legitimate fight,
bro. Now you're just talking about a fantasy fight, man. You need to stop that. You need to stop. You do that.
To go back to Andy Ruiz. Go back to Andy Ruiz. The person he should fight is probably retire Luis Ortiz. That'd be a good showcase fight for him to get him back into.
To say that. as long as Ortiz, as long as they don't do any pieces on his daughter anymore like that, man. Because I'm telling you, that shit was sad. That fight between Ortiz and Charles was so sad, man. How they kept panning out to the. I talked to BDA about it. How it kept panning out to his family. That it was just sad. It was sad. You almost felt guilty cheering. Like you know, I don't know.
I think the next fight should be the last fight for Ortiz because I think somebody should take him out in like the first 3 or 4 rounds. Like just sign him off for a last fight because he was about to.
How old is he now anyway?
I think it's criminal. He still has a boxing license. I can't believe this is happening. Like the guy's like 50 years old. You know?
But I mean, that just goes to show you. That just goes to show you how bad the heavyweight division is. That somebody hasn't taken him out yet, like, other than Wilder. And even Wilder was struggling. I mean, he was losing every round in the second fight, and it just got lucky.
And any of the top 5 now would destroy him in 2-3 rounds. Ortiz, he's completely shot. I mean, he was shot before, but now he's even worse. I mean, Charles Martin was dropping him with jabs. You know what I'm saying? So come on.
He's in the same boat. He's in the same boat as
Wilder the first time.
He's in the same boat as Povetkin. He's got no legs. I got no legs.
He was getting knocked down by jabs.
Martin actually fucking
but Povetkin had insane power as well, though. So that was his get out of jail card.
Hey, that Charles Martin fight, David Ortiz won by the skin of his fucking fade, man.
David Ortiz.
Who's David Ortiz?
Who we talking about?
I just honestly think in general, bro, when it comes to Cuban fighters, bro, like their style is I just love it, man. I like that's why I really love Frank Sanchez. Like he's just, I don't know, man. It's like how he dropped a set, and it's just, I just think it's. I'm not bored when I see his fights. I really like it.
It's like Cuban style. Like I mean, like every Cuban I see fights a little different. Like Sullivan Barrera does not fight like Andy Cruz Gomez. Like they're different boxers.
Frank Sanchez, he reminds me of a big Andrade. He starts well, then he bores you to death after.
Yeah, exactly. Hey, is it true that Luis Ortiz has handlebars in his shower? Somebody said that. I don't know if it's true or not.
What?
Oh, come on.
Maybe.
That's what I heard.
What about Luis Ortiz in the shower?
He needs to be falling over, man.
A little bit of their style has to do probably with the amateurs that they get on the back foot. They'll lull you to sleep. But in the professionals, from what I've seen, they will lull you to sleep. But if you sleep on your laurels, they'll take you out. They'll knock you out like Islandi Lara. What's the guy that fought Donaire? The small guy. Rigondeaux. Yeah, this guy that dropped F.A. Jagba, Frank Sanchez, all those guys. Yeah, they'll take you out.
Shout out to
if you kill him.
I mean, Luis Ortiz though, it's extreme. Like, did you guys see the stool that they custom made for him so he didn't have to sit down, so because he couldn't bend his knees in the corner?
Damn, Jesus. What the fuck?
Damn,
he's all fucked up.
Yeah, in the Charles Martin fight, they had a tall stool for him in the corner because he couldn't bend his knees.
What?
He had a walker.
He's kidding, man.
Now.
He's gotta be kidding.
I feel like y'all looking
He borrowed it from Tyson Fury.
Gonzalo. Who do you got? Barrios or Thurman? Who's winning? What's your prediction?
Thurman should win, man. Thurman should win.
One time.
That fight's over.
Well, listen, you know what else is over? You know what else is over this show? I'm tired of talking about fucking... this is where we ended up, talking about Luis Ortiz. So here's what we're going to do. First of all, shout out to Paper Tiger for his contribution with the super chat. He says, Canelo walks Frank down, not throwing any punches. Man, if that happens, then Makabu really is that... Makabu then sucks, man. Shout out to Paper Tiger for his contribution. Hold on. I'm going to tell you what's up, all right? I'm going to tell you what's what. We're going to move this over to the second Renaissance, all right? That's the non-boxing channel. So you guys stay here, all right? Everybody on the panel, stay here. I got to go for 5 minutes to set up the other thing. I'll start and once we're on the air, you'll be in here.
Listen. I'm gonna. BDA doesn't like when I take over because I'm very mean. All right. So, and I have the power. I have the power to kick people off. So I'm gonna tell you guys right now, one at a fucking time.
Damn, recognize. Sounds like he's talking to his kids.
Let me go because it's midnight now. I've got work tomorrow. But guys, it's been great talking to you, and I'll see you guys next time.
Have a good one, man. Have a good one.
Fuck you.
Hey, but Kenshiro, who said? I'm confused though, Kenshiro.
Fuck you.
I'm confused with Kenshiro. I didn't tell you could go. So what's going on here?
Hey, BDA.
But see you guys next time. Have a good one, guys. Thank you.
I got one thing to say to you, BDA.
What's that?
Listo per los chingazos. Listo per los chingazos.
All right.
It's easy to sit in those seats. It's easy to be there. It's hard to do what I do.
Listo per los chingazos.
What does that mean?
Ready for the fire, the punches.
It's like an American saying to a Mexican.
No, it's like saying we're ready.
Are you ready to get whooped?
Yeah, it's like we're ready to throw fucking, bombs. Like we're ready to
throw down. Yeah. All right. Well, listen.
Yeah.
The second Renaissance. I'm gonna take about 5 minutes to set
you
that
do
up.
the second Ren.
Right, because we got into a discussion of magic and religion and all that. So we're gonna talk about that. And
this is my first Renaissance. We can just talk about anything.
With that whole Discord, can I come in there and just talk about science?
Well, here's what I'm saying. You guys stay here.
Us like Frankie Sanchez.
TB. Black people are usually the smartest scientists. So yeah, I want to see what you say, TB.
The discussion will take place here. So you guys stay here. I'm gonna leave, set up, start the show, and then I jump in here, and we'll be on the air. All right.
10-4.
So yeah, so that's it. And we're gonna because we haven't done an episode on esotericism, the occult in a long time, and that's what we were talking about. So then we had to go back to boxing. So we're gonna talk about that. We're gonna talk about a whole bunch of things. So stay tuned for the second Renaissance. Everybody that joined here, shout out to you fellas. What else? Everybody
drop a link of the second Ren in the chat. PDA.
All right.
Do you want me to do it?
I got it right here, man. Thanks. There we go. There it is. Second Renaissance. I want to give a shout out to everybody that donated the super chat. Everybody that was in the chat. I'm talking about Spurger King, Loma is the best, Lucky Zim, Jump Tube, Go to Korua, the Quags, Official Scorecard Boxing, shout out to Official, and everybody else, guys. You know who you are. We got to go because I got